Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Gunpla Gamer here. Sorry guys that it's taken me a little bit to upload a following video, our first React video. Excuse me, allergies bothering me today. I actually had one already set to go on the channel. However, excuse me, when I was watching it back and trying to think of like a thumbnail image and title, I realized that I had some information in the video that could potentially dox, show who I am or where I'm from or anything like that. And I know pretty much anyone on the right side or even sometimes in the center or just Asmon fans in general. Um, Tend to be the target of doxing because of the psychotic lefties that want to harm you and are violent and want to cancel you in every possible way, even though they say they don't like cancel culture when they're the ones that are pushing most of it right now. So I had to get rid of some of that stuff and I just deleted the whole video and then got a little busy with work and life and everything. So um, finally getting the opportunity now on the weekend to record another video. Asmon put out some new stuff, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and react to the video that I originally did. It was the one with the mask off where the guy changed his mind about his trans issues and once said that women that are trans are women, now says that they're not women. Uh, you know, I have a lot to say about that. But and then it just went into like a bunch of other political things. But I mean, again, if you guys are interested in me reacting in that, I'll go back to it. But for now, I'm just gonna go with some of his newer videos and react to some of those. The ones that I generally am interested in. Um, I'm curious as to what this video is about. Most of these videos, I don't actually watch them, so I can get like a fresh react when I'm doing the recording. Most of the time, I'll usually just watch Tectone's channels and some of the other guys like He or however you pronounce that. Some of the other dudes, Bellular, things like that. Um, so I want to get a fresh react on Asmon. I do like Rupert Lowe on some of the things that he says and his Restore Britain because it's like insane with the whole rip gangs and stuff going on over there and no no AC units and everything that happened with Henry Novak and stuff. So uh, also I mean I don't watch a lot of Joe Rogan, but a lot of the clips that Asmon watches that have Joe Rogan in it, I mean, he seems to like have the same kind of values that we all share. So, I'd have to watch more of Joe Rogan to know if like I really, want to add him to the repertoire of other guys that I like to watch, um, and react to. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm curious as to what both Rupert Lowe and Asmongold have to say.
Apparently, Rupert Lowe was on Joe Rogan,
Hmm.
episode 2500. And oh my God, how does he do so many
Yeah, it's a
podcasts?
lot.
Holy shit, man. This is like a
I mean,
podcast
that's what
every
he
other
does.
day.
That's what his
Oh my God.
that's what his job is pretty
Yes,
much.
this is crazy.
Hey, so
Too
what is
bad
he
are
saying?
China or Russia have the same mentality? Of course, because they're not America. Duh. You retarded? Anyway, let's go down and we'll look at these.
Let's see what they got to say.
Let me go and find a few more of the other posts.
He
I've
lines
only
them
seen
all
a
up.
handful of them yet. I don't know why it's not showing any of these. I can just go it from here. When's your turn? Why don't you relax?
That would be an interesting
where
watch to see him.
we've got these Islamic settlements which effectively operate, and there are large tracts of the country now where we've got these Islamic settlements which effectively operate almost as a sort of parallel society. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know
have their
whether it's
own
quite
laws
the same
and
here,
stuff.
whether you've got the similar
I think
thing
they
with
have
the
their own
Somalis
judges.
in Minnesota.
You do in Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn,
Yeah.
Michigan just had a gigantic Islamic parade
Oh
where
boy.
you just see tens of thousands of people holding flags and walking on the street, and
Yeah.
it's
Ridiculous.
Kind of crazy. It's crazy that, and
It's
they
America.
one of the things that's funny about Dearborn is
You gotta
all the
assimilate if you're
progressives,
coming
it's
here.
a very liberal place. They're like,
Yeah.
welcome,
Of course.
welcome, everyone's welcome for all
That's
cultures.
what the liberals
And
love to
as
do.
soon as they got into power, they banned the pride flag. That was the
Love
first
it.
thing they did.
Love
I'm
it.
afraid they
Chickens for KFC.
Love
have
it.
quite strong views on that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that's
This is like pure chef kiss. You know, it's like all these retarded liberals, psychopaths, you know, that are like free Palestine and, you know, free all the oppression in the Middle East. You know, they're so ideologically captured and they're so performative and fake. They're literally rooting for people that want them to die. Like, this literally is the greatest example of suicidal empathy that I think you could ever have, because that's what most of these lefties do. Like, it's all feelings for them. So they feel like they want to do the right thing, but they're not actually thinking. There's no logic involved. It's just for brownie points. And so obviously, like right here in a perfect example, you know, pride for Palestine, pride for Islam, and then as soon as they get in power, you're banned. They will kill you. So this is great. This is kind of like um when I was talking about earlier, where like how the guy changed his mind on the trans issues. It's like once these people actually realize the logic, like no, a woman that is trans is not an actual woman. Like, you're not born a woman. You could only be a woman if you are born a woman. You can only be a man if you were born a man. You can change into a woman from a man, that's fine, but you're not biologically. You could change into a man from a woman, but you're not biological. Just accept the facts, accept the reality. Like, you know, if you're a man and you put on a dress, you can't go into a woman's bathroom. I'm sorry. Like, if you fully convert and you completely look like a woman, then sure, maybe there can be some argument there. But most of the case, it's just creepy ass looking dudes wearing dresses that are going into women's bathrooms and like harassing them. So, no. But this is a very similar, and it's actually hilarious that this happened. I'm glad to hear it.
That's why,
Yeah.
Queers for Palestine is always hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you see the meme Palestine for queers, and it's throwing people off roofs.
Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
He just says it. Oh my god.
It's
It's like the chap who runs our Green Party is a gay Jew. So I mean, he, you know, again,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, say no more.
There you go.
he's going to have a problem.
Yes,
if
he
these
is.
guys get anywhere near power. But
Yeah.
that doesn't seem to put the progressives off. They still seem to.
But this is what's crazy is
That's
that
'cause they're
their
retarded.
society is complete, like Islamic society is completely patriarchal. The women are absolutely second-class citizens.
Yep.
They have completely different.
Which is funny. Sorry, I'm gonna be pausing a lot, kind of like Asmon does. But I think it's funny that the whole women population is Islam is secondhand, to everything else. It's ironic because most of the people that are pushing for this kind of thing are the women. It's the women with their empathy and their feelings, and they're the ones that are all out there protesting. It's like, if this comes into power, you guys are done. Like, literally, again, suicidal empathy. Like, you are rooting for things that are going to oppress you. It doesn't make any sense.
different laws for how the women can dress. What
Yeah.
happens to the woman?
They're gonna
if
control
someone
you.
Has sex with if someone has, first of all, if they commit adultery, they get killed, like,
Stoned.
stoned
Mhm.
to death. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
With the
I
rocks.
It's all. It's
I
all.
watched a horrible video where a father did it to his daughter.
Oh.
You do get these killings.
Honor killings.
Honor killings. Yeah.
Yeah. Or brothers. The brother will kill the
Yeah.
daughter. of the daughter shame the family. It's like,
Naturally.
hey guys, how are you
That's
progressive
insane.
when you're supporting this? And it's because the concept of not being racist, not being called racist, the fear of that is so strong.
It is.
They're willing to adopt all sorts of things that are the complete antithesis of everything they believe in.
Yep. It's so true. It's like that's why that they're so adamant in calling you a fascist, a racist, a neo-Nazi, a white supremacist. Like they use all these buzzwords because they're so afraid to be called them themselves. And they know how bad the words are in their own mind. And so they want to call you those words so that they have an excuse to kill you. And it's ridiculous that they're letting all these people in because they're terrified of being called racist, but it won't even matter because all these people are going to control and oppress you. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It never did.
Thank God everybody is saying it now.
I hope so, man.
Everybody is saying it. That is exactly fucking right.
I can't wait for the
They
day
hate
to the shit
West,
to get
they
destroyed.
hate white people.
Yep.
They hate Western culture.
Yep.
They hate America.
Yep.
They hate Christianity.
Yep.
And whatever. And they're terrified of being called racist.
Yep.
That's it.
And they want to destroy it. This
Do you
is why,
think
like,
that
I'll
this-
never understand. Like, I will admit that I was a Democrat my entire life, mostly because I never really followed politics, and my mother was a Democrat and a liberal her entire life. And so, since I never really cared too much of politics and nothing really seemed to bother me with what was going on in the world, I kind of followed along. But then I started to notice things just really changing for the worst from the Democratic Party, and I decided that I just can't support this group anymore because of what they're doing. And I'm not gonna give too much away, but basically, I could feel that the Democrats and the liberals didn't like the person that I was, that I identified with, and they wanted to kill that group of people. And I couldn't understand, like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, why am I going to want to be part of this group that effectively wants to kill me? And so I'll never understand, like, why my mother um, can still like be a Democrat. And it's like, but these people want to kill you. So why are you voting and supporting people that actively want to kill you? Just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway,
perspective that society sort of adopted in the UK about white people being bad. Do you think this was there was architecture to it? This was by design?
of course,
This was done, or is this just
They
sort
don't
of
like
a
us.
natural response to people being called racist? Because was their course in the past.
They
there was
hate
more
white
racism
people,
than there is today.
and they hate Western
People
culture.
always want to point to that
And I could
racism
never,
as, evidence of
I could never
colonialism,
support
evidence of whatever it is
a
that
party
happened in days past. But
that wants either of those things.
why in England do you think that narrative took hold so well?
Because I think, Joe, to your point, that this post-war plan for multiculturalism, I think they realised that
So it was by design.
they've got a problem.
So
Now,
part of it was probably infiltrating the universities and promoting these kind of ideas.
Yep.
It's almost as if, with the World Economic Forum, there's this view that the Anglo-Saxon nations have commanded and dominated too much of the world's resources, and there's
Haven't done enough.
So they
almost
want
like
it.
this
They want to take it back.
misguided altruistic view that we should become more concerned with global welfare rather than the welfare of our own citizens.
Well, it's also that there's
Which
another
doesn't make any
component to this,
sense.
too, where it's
Why
like
would you do that?
Destabilized countries around the world are destabilized as a result of European and American involvement. And as a result from that, you need to be punished by allowing their people, their refugees, into the country.
That's the most
So,
ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Sin is colonialism and other forms of imperialism, and then the atonement is allowing the infinity refugees, right?
No,
That's
because
how
then
it
they're gonna
works.
kill you.
Do you want to go back to colonialism? Yes. We need to have more colonies. We need a lot more colonies.
Which I totally disagree with.
Well, there's also the
Yeah.
you will own nothing and you will be happy,
This is your
Which-
Klaus
It
Schwab
worked.
which is
palpable
hilarious that someone
nonsense.
would even say that out loud.
I know.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. Like,
I know.
What a bunch of nutballs.
is
Yep.
this a part of an Orwell book?
Mhm.
Because this doesn't seem like a real person would say something like that. Because who the fuck is going to listen to that? It doesn't make any sense.
These
Well,
psychos.
they dress like James Bond villains, and they look like it too. They're idiots. Here we go.
Can I pause you for a second? So what you think is that the multicultural invasion, the way it was set up, was on purpose, and it was on
Yeah,
purpose
definitely.
to sort of diminish the idea of nationalism.
Yes, I think that well,
Fucking exactly. Yep.
And so this was like a long plan. So this was something that
And remember how he said the other clip, post-war. What war is he talking about? World War II. This is exactly what
They
I've
want to
been saying.
destroy Western
they must have
culture,
had to sit down and, like, who would be involved in
capitalism,
this sort of a discussion where you
Christianity,
would be willing
Catholicism,
to
white people. They
diminish
want to kill it all
patriotism,
and
diminish
take
this
control of the
idea
world.
that
World War XI.
Britain by
yeah.
itself is exceptional and the people are exceptional.
it was a long, deceitful plan. So I always say
Who implemented it?
the European elites in league with our elite, who effectively, if you remember, in 1975 we had we joined what was called the European Economic Community. It wasn't effectively anything
I
other
didn't
than
know
an
about this.
economic union, but that very quickly changed, and effectively they tried to politically integrate Europe. That failed, and then in '97 they tried to force it through with
The Jews. Everybody says it's the Jews. It's
Of
the
course.
Jews. Guys,
Ridiculous.
if there were no Jews on the world,
They'd
at
still
all,
do this.
period, you'd still have these problems.
Yeah, they still want to subvert.
You are falling for a subversion in order to compartmentalize your anger and not have it accurately.
It's not the Jews
accounted
that
to
are
the right
trying to
people.
destroy Western
You are
culture.
you are being
They are
misdirected
fine with
to being
assimilating with
only
us.
mad at the Jews.
It's everyone else.
The Jews did not do this alone. Even if you think the Jews did this, they were not alone in doing this.
No, and they weren't
You
even
need
the
to
ones
look
to
at
do this.
holistically.
Fucking idiots.
the introduction of the euro. So, having failed politically, they tried to do it financially. That was my first.
This is the biggest weakness right now on the internet for right-wing people and any conservative person, is that there is this fixation around blaming everything on the Jews.
Everyone
rather
loves to
than
blame the
looking at
Jews.
any other factors that could have also caused it as well.
Fucking
And I
stupid.
think that this was deliberately given to, I think, right-wing people as a way to poison the well, in the same way that identity politics poisoned the well for left-wing politics to prevent them from having any class solidarity.
That does make sense.
I think that we're being poison-pilled with this.
It
It's a red
does.
herring.
It does seem to be like
Yes,
the problem of
obviously,
the right.
There can be an issue of Jewish supremacy. There could be an issue of Israel, involvement and Israel bad behavior and the Rothschilds. Like, all of these things can be true, but
Like he's gonna say, I do agree. I think that Israel is definitely more involved in like Western culture than it probably should be, with how it wants to control media and all the other things that he's about to mention. But I don't think that they're trying to do Western culture. Like, I don't think they're trying to eliminate it. I mean, they're definitely up to something, but I don't think, one, it's not all the Jews. It's Israel and maybe even potentially just the Israel political party that's in power right now. But they're not trying to destroy Western culture. And even if it's true that they're up to no good, like, both can be true at the same time. Like, okay, be suspicious of them, but it doesn't mean that you have to like completely hate all the Jews and their culture. Keep an eye on them. There are worse enemies that we have to worry about right now.
That's not the whole story.
No, it's not the whole story.
Foray into standing as a member of parliament to fight to save the British pound, because
Goy
once you
directed,
lose your
yeah.
currency, effectively you lose your sovereignty and your national identity.
Yeah.
And our gold reserves were going to be shipped out to Germany, to Frankfurt. And we would
Why?
have become a vassal state, part of the European Union. It would have been irreversible. But in the event,
That's
thanks to
nuts.
Sir James Goldsmith, we secured enough votes. We forced the establishment to promise a referendum before they surrendered to the euro.
Jesus. And it's like saying black crime isn't a problem because other races commit crime. Well,
That's an
saying
interesting
that,
story. I
For
didn't know that.
example, like you have like, for example, like let me give you another parallel that's
The
I think
euro
better.
and
The
everything.
reason why we have so many crimes right now is because the police aren't solving the problem.
No.
So if every
We
single
arrest them
time
and let
that
them back
I
out
said
into the
that,
street.
Okay, well, we have so many problems with crime nowadays, and everybody in chat is like, "Oh, I know what to do. It's just all the black people. If we didn't have any black people, there wouldn't be any crime."
There still would be crime.
Number one, no, that's not true. And even if there is a disproportionate amount of them, it's still not all of it. It's
No.
the people that are causing this to happen, period. That's, I think, the other comparison. Does that make sense? It's the judges. Yeah, it's the judges. It's the
The
politicians.
judges that are letting
It's
them back
everything.
out.
And if you're just
There's
blaming
always-
one group of people, it's reductive.
Like, yeah, there, like you said, there is a disproportionate amount of crime that comes from, that particular group of people, but it's not the only group of people that are committing crimes. Like, if, for, just hypothetically speaking, if there were never black people in America, it would be Hispanics that would be doing the crime. It would be Indians. It would be like low class white trash. Like it would be someone would be doing the crime. It's not only the black people. Like yes, there's a disproportionate amount of it that is them, but that's not the problem. The problem is that no one's doing anything about solving that. We're letting them back out onto the street after they commit 14 crimes. We're not arresting them. We're not, doing all those things. Like look at all those what are those? Those teen takeover things? Like all those kids should be arrested and put in jail. All the parents for letting them out should be arrested and also put in jail. But what are they doing? There's no repercussions for doing this, so they're just doing it again. That's the problem.
It's reductive, and it's deliberately reductive because the ideology and that fixation is designed with the intent of disarming you. It is intentionally disarming and limiting your awareness of this problem, and it is by design and made by your enemies.
Yep.
The people that are also saying that it's the Jews in Israel that did everything want to flood your country with people that will ethnically replace you and vote on ethnic blocks.
Yep.
It's the exact same thing.
100%.
Britain's in bad shape. And
Yeah, and that's why you're here. And this is what we're talking about.
well, the rape gang, we've done.
That
this
was
is
off.
Here it is.
That's awful.
crowdfunded this,
Okay.
I read that.
which I'm very happy to talk to you about. Which I think,
Just this
Yeah, I'm glad
title,
Asmon
the
went
rape
about it.
gang report.
yeah,
That was
The
like
idea that
huge.
there's actual rape gangs in the UK in 2026, and is
Disgusting.
it being ignored? Is it being?
Of course it's being ignored.
downplayed? Like, how is it being received by the media and by the politicians?
Joe Rogan does a really good job of, like, he knows what the answer to this is, but he does a good job of baiting out these questions.
Mhm.
It's over there.
well, the history of it is that basically, as you probably know, Britain after the war decided they were going to play a part in Europe, a bigger part in Europe. Well, our elite did, the British elite. And to do that, they had to basically diminish the power of the nation state, and they had to head towards this European superstate, which is the EU, the genesis of which was obviously a monopoly.
Why did they have to diminish the power of the nation to do that?
Because I think Britain was a proud nation state. We with the American help, we'd won the war, and
We did.
we hadn't been invaded or conquered, which most of Europe had been.
Based.
So you'd had mass dislocation in Europe. Huge numbers of people had been
Polish.
dislocated and pushed
French.
all over Europe. And I think the socialists. I was in the European Parliament, so I spent a brief time as an MEP
Very
a member
interesting.
of the European Parliament,
We're dead too.
when we finally achieved a kind of Brexit. We can talk about that, but it wasn't a proper Brexit.
Hmm.
So I think the genesis of the rape gangs, going back to this, was the fact that multiculturalism was the order of the day. They wanted open borders. They wanted a multicultural society. They basically felt the nation state had been the cause of world wars, effectively starting with Napoleon. Then obviously we had the Kaiser, then we had Hitler. And I think they saw it that way, the Monnets, the Spinellis, and the people who constructed the European Union. So
You can see the logic, right? Is that, like, you know, you have a very, very strong nation state, it's hard to control, and it can cause a lot of problems. So we'll nerf everybody.
Rape gang report, which was your question, ultimately, the genesis of that is this multicultural invasion almost of Europe.
Is trying to turn England into Jerusalem? Well, I think it's more than that, right? It's a lot more than that. Let me pull up some more of the clips on this too. I don't know if there's any more of this. It's a 2-hour episode. Oh my God, that's a long one. I'm not going to watch the entire thing. I'll probably just be watching clips and highlights of it over the next few days. I'll find the other ones too. Give me 1 second. I just wanted to see if they had any highlights that were done anyway. Okay, there it is. If you want to check out I missed anything, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll go through it. Thank you. Yeah, I want to make sure I find these and I don't miss any of them. Okay, here we go.
But you know, our woke culture is not protecting the interests of the British people.
And it's also a massive incentive. If you live in a terribly poor country and you can just get to England and then instantaneously
Big
you will get money and housing.
Yeah,
That's right.
Why would you not do that?
everybody would do
Well,
that.
not only that.
I don't even blame the immigrants for doing that. I don't. Like, whenever it's the same with the illegals here in America. Like, I know that we have illegals here, and, like, I don't have any animosity towards the illegals. I don't have any animosity towards the Haitians. I don't have any animosity towards, you know, even a lot of the Somalians in Minnesota. Like, they're simply just following their own best interests. Like, I have animosity towards them to the extent that they are committing crimes. But, like, if they're just coming here, like, no, look, guys. If you're in Peru, you want to go to America. If you're in Colombia, your dream is to get to America. For many of these people, it is their dream. I understand that they want to be here. If I was in Colombia, that's what I would want to do. Peru is fine. Is it really? I guess maybe I'm off. But anyway, like, incentives drive behavior. Okay. Well, what I'm saying is that I don't think these people are profoundly evil. They're just simply trying to seek a life that's better than what they have.
Yeah.
The problem is that we can't give that to everybody in the world.
No, we can't.
We don't have that many resources in the world to do that with.
It's just not
So
healthy
we
either.
have to piecemeal and decide who do we give these opportunities to and who do we withhold
Because if
them
we
from.
bring in too
And
many people, they're
fundamentally,
gonna
the
just
first
overwrite our
decision
culture.
there is, are you a citizen in the country or not? That's it. Because you have to pick winners and losers. Everybody can't be a winner. That's just not the way it works. Does that make sense? So, like, I don't hold animosity towards them for acting in their best interest. I hold animosity towards our people for acting against our best interest. So import more? And no, I don't give a fuck about them.
Why would we import more?
You want to cut each other up in Haiti? Go ahead. It's not my problem.
Yeah, it's not a
It's
problem.
sad. I hope they stop, but I don't want to deal with it.
Why is that our problem, and why should we importing them over
Do it
here?
over
They're just
there.
gonna
Get the fuck
kill
outta
us
here.
and then subverse our
I
culture.
don't hate you. I just don't want you here.
Yeah,
There's plenty of people I don't hate. I wouldn't want them living in my house.
that's the stupidest
Doesn't
thing
mean
I've
I
ever
hate
heard.
them. If somebody was camped out in my backyard with a tent, I would say, hey, you've got to go. Oh, what do you hate me? No, I just don't want you in my backyard with a tent out. Like,
Yeah, it's
get the
ridiculous.
hell out. It's really simple.
But that's
you
what
go to the top of
that's what the
waiting list for
empathetic
dental
liberals don't
treatment or
understand.
Confused on your stance on leftists versus immigrants.
It's like, wait, no, I'm not helping all the poor, helpless people in the world, but that goes against my liberal views. I have to help everyone, even if they're gonna kill me. What am I gonna do? I can't post how good I am. I don't feel good. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Fucking liberals.
Self-interest versus treachery. The leftists are traitors. The immigrants
Yep.
are just simply they have no obligation to America. They have no obligation or allegiance to us.
No,
So
they do
whenever
not.
they act in their own best interest, I don't hold it against them because they have
They're
no
just-
obligation to us in the first place.
Yeah, they're just trying to do their thing. It's the
Lists
leftists that
for
are selling
dental
us
treatment,
out to get them here.
British people
Dental.
don't get the NHS.
What?
You know, they're
British
just trying to
people
give
don't
their
get dental
family.
treatment. I didn't say it.
The top of the waiting
Wait a
list.
minute. They get access to dental treatment that the British people don't get?
Correct.
Why? Why do immigrants get access to it?
Well, this, Joe, is the mystery of
This
of
is the mystery.
what our
Yeah.
leaders.
wonder.
I don't know what they think they're doing, but they have this misguided view that these people are actually, they call them asylum seekers. They say
Yeah.
they need to be looked
They
after
take
and
care of
protected.
everyone else except their own.
But they're not. They're economic migrants. And to your point, if they
Even if they are asylum seekers, I think that we need to move
You don't have
past
to
the
give
position that
asylum to
somebody
everybody.
that is seeking asylum, that gives them, like, you now have this obligation to take them in and take care of them. I think that in a lot of cases that can make sense. So, like, a really great example
But
of
also,
this is
you shouldn't
Poland and
be
Ukraine,
subverting
because
the
Polish
people that you
and
already have in
Ukrainian
your
people
country.
can get along a lot better than, I would say, people from Zimbabwe or I don't know, Somalia and the British people, right? There's a degree of similarity there.
Of
And
course.
there absolutely is an immigration tier list.
But
There
you
is, and
shouldn't
everybody knows
be
it. And there are certain countries that you want
hurting
more immigrants
or
from, and
or
other
taking
countries
away
that you
from
want
your
as few
own
immigrants from as
citizens
possible, right? Except for the big exceptions. That's the way it is.
to give it to
Canada
these
versus Mexico
other
to the USA.
migrants.
I honestly, like,
You
I-
should
I
be
don't- I don't
giving
know,
the
like,
health care and the
I mean,
dental
yeah, I
to
would
your
say
own
Canada
citizens
is culturally a lot more similar to America
that are the ones
than
supporting
Mexico
you,
is.
not the
Just
migrants.
based off of ethnic
It's ridiculous.
and also, I mean, I guess religious. They're pretty much, I guess, they're very Catholic. I
You're
guess, like, down here
abandoning
we're
your own
Catholic,
people.
But, like, in general, like, yeah, it's closer.
They're just
kind
gonna
of, but
abandon
not
you.
a whole lot more.
know there's welfare when they reach Britain, they'll travel across multiple safe countries
Yeah,
to
I
get
do
to the
that.
welfare, the free housing,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
of course.
and all the other stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I
why wouldn't
definitely
they?
do that. That's smart.
can't blame
although
them for
there's bad
doing that,
tensions over
but-
Ukrainian migrants in Poland already, taking people from Africa would be insane. Yeah, I know. I know. Like, and taking in migrants and refugees will always create problems. But there is, like, here's the reality, right? Is that I think that Western civilization and Western culture, that I would say Ukraine is at least a tangential part of, I think that we have an obligation to each other to help continue our existence. That means that I want to see America helping Canada. I want to see Canada helping Australia. I want to see Australia helping Britain. I want to see France helping Portugal. I want to see Spain helping Germany. I want to see Germany helping Poland. I want to see that happening. And I think that to a broader extent, right? Like, and these are spheres of, like, kind of like influence, right? We should also be trying to help out people in Turkey if we can, or Venezuela, or Japan. Like, because these are people that are not, directly Western culture, but these are still people that we know and we deal with all the time.
and
And so
we
we
can
need
get
to help
along
them.
with.
So all whites? Yeah, generally I would say most of Western culture is white for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Spain is like, Spanish is kind of not white, but it's, I think,
We can still help
definitely
them.
Western culture. It's the conquistadors. So it depends on how you'd want to define it. But I have no interest in you redefining this argument as something that's racist.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, you're only
categorically
gonna help
assigning
white
it a
people?
negative value because
Idiot.
you think that I'm not allowed to say something that way. That's exactly what I think. That's exactly where I'm at. Yeah, overwhelmingly that's the case. Obviously, and everybody knows it. We all
Well, you
know
want to
this.
support people that you get along with.
I don't care what your deliberate misunderstandings are. It's not important to me. Spain is white, bro. I don't like. You know who agrees with you, by the way? The Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh my god.
I had a friend of mine and he's not Mexican, he's Spanish. And he went with them.
Eh,
He
the
did.
Aryan
He had to
Brotherhood.
go with them. He wasn't allowed in the Mexican gangs.
That's hilarious.
Yep. That's crazy. I would have never expected that. They share 75% Y DNA. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't
This-
either, actually.
Anyway,
so
let's
this
keep going.
Rape gang inquiry report that you have just released, the number. I want you to say it because it sounds so crazy. If I say it, people. it's gonna sound
250,000,
wrong.
I believe.
What the number of people that were victims? The estimate.
Well, we've estimated that a minimum of 250,000
Yep.
rapes have taken place. It's probably much more, Joe.
Yeah.
Much more,
Because
you
we
think.
published in here, I think it's a list of 140.
Well, there's also like a huge spectrum, right? I think that a lot of women were sexually harassed. Like, you think about, like, I mean, this is just, I mean, I don't want to make this like too graphic, right? But
I'm
like,
building Gunpla at the same time. Because I think it's a
Sexual
good thing to do
harassment,
at the same time.
sexual assault, and then rape, right? I think this is the reality. Is that like these are concentric circles.
Hmm.
And so like the amount of actual rapes are there, sure, right? One is too many. Well, yeah, because it's an unforced error. They shouldn't be in the country. That's true.
Exactly.
7 parts of the UK where this is happening. Now, the government tries to tell you it's happening in Rochdale, Oldham, one or two Bradford, one or two centres, and that's why their statutory inquiry, the terms of reference of that, have now been downgraded. So they make it look as if it's not a systemic problem, but
Yeah.
just a little local problem, which it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we've listed here, and they're all in here, the places where we know it's happening from our rape gang inquiry. But every time we publish this, Joe, I get people emailing us or sending us messages on social media to say, what about Red Ruth in Cornwall? What about it's happening here, it's happening here, it's happening here. So I think it's
It's the tip
It's
of
everywhere.
the iceberg.
incredibly widespread.
Yeah.
Of course
and
it is.
there's other people who've corroborated that 250,000 figure. That's an incredibly conservative figure. You can't be exact because the state is not collecting the data.
Nope.
Which it should
They're
be
just
doing.
letting them
It's
happen.
deliberately not collecting the data, and the data that it is collecting, it's obscuring by creating,
Because the
assignments
data
like
is
Asian.
racist.
Whenever they're saying
Fucking
Asian,
stupid.
they're talking about Pakistanis,
Yep.
right?
Middle
But,
Eastern.
like, realistically, I think that if you say Asian, is it really an accurate categorization to
Nope.
include Koreans and Japanese people
Absolutely not.
inside of the same racial distinction of Indians and Pakistanis?
Because they want the Asians
Absolutely
to get the
fucking
heat
not.
instead.
So you then ask yourself, why are they casting with such a wide net? Well, unironically, it's to damage the reputations of Korean and Japanese and
There you go.
Chinese immigrants to damage their reputation and then to launder that good reputation through the Pakistani and the Indian gangs and Afghanistan. Because there are absolutely differences here. There are,
Yep.
and everybody knows this.
Of course.
We all
You
know
don't see
this.
them doing the crimes.
Pakistanis and Indians are Middle Eastern? No. Well, what I'm saying is that it's the framing that they do with it. Opposite, it's to diffuse the damage to reputation of Pakistanis. Did I miss? I think that people know what I'm trying to say, but yes.
Yeah.
And we've been lobbying in Parliament to make sure that the state's collection of the data
Yes.
improves. And then we can actually see the extent of the problem, and you can actually pinpoint it.
Yeah, good
in
luck
the
getting
same
them
way
to
that we've
show
done
the
for
real
this
data.
report.
They're hiding it on
So
purpose.
I think it's linked to organised crime. I think it's linked to the drug trade.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it's linked to the drug trade, and
Yeah.
and obviously it's linked to
Human
prostitution.
human
So,
trafficking.
so as usual, with an evil like this,
It's
and you've got
multifaceted.
girls who are transported around in the back of pickups and
Yep.
in cages, and at our rape gang inquiry, we had examples of girls who were raped by dogs.
Indian and Pakistani are absolutely not Middle Eastern. Don't lump us in with them. Okay, bro.
Mhm.
Look, I'm not trying to put you in any kind of a situation, all right?
And
Got it.
filmed, either
get it.
anally raped or vaginally raped,
Uh-huh.
and literally
Samples,
watched,
yeah,
filmed,
I-
and a lot
I don't know.
It's sick,
And
man.
yeah, it's just really big to be a single racial profiling group. Yeah, so then think about why they're doing it.
The Southport killings, where this chap Axel Rudakabana went and knifed 3 young girls and killed them.
Not a good thing.
Despite the fact that the British state, through Prevent, was aware of this.
Really bad.
And we've had a similar case recently with Henry Novak, where, again, it was actually, I think on this occasion, a Sikh stabbed him.
Yeah, it was.
And the police, despite the fact when they arrived at the scene, he told them he'd been stabbed. The police didn't believe him, and they
That's the
tried
most
to handcuff him.
ridiculous thing
And
I've
as a
ever
result
heard.
of that, it's arguable that they opened up the wound, the stab wound, and he drowned in his own blood.
Sickening.
Meanwhile, his
Not
murderer was never handcuffed. So this is where the British state's gone completely wrong.
And
Because
all of that is
handcuffing him would
accurate.
be
and we looked at all
racist.
of that. We saw it before. And let me see if there's any more of these to look at too. And okay, we'll go and this is a big long one. I'll probably look at that one tomorrow. I'll look
All
at
this
one
stuff
more of
is
these
just gonna
clips,
come
and
once
then
it's
after
done,
that,
Rupert, and it's gonna come over to us.
I want to look at some of the other
We're already
comments too,
seeing
right?
like little snippets
And,
of it with
okay.
the Somalia situation.
One of which, the biggest of which, was probably under Boris Johnson, who was actually a conservative
Boras.
prime minister, who allowed
He was like the Timu Trump. At least he looked like it.
thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to come into Britain. And basically, they are now a burden to the British taxpayer. So the answer to your question is they're arriving illegally still. They're living here illegally, or living in Britain illegally still. We've got foreign criminals in our prisons, and we've still got the legacy of this huge amount of immigration which took place.
And are a large percentage of these people receiving welfare from
Yes.
the British government?
Yes.
What percentage?
You're paying them to come over and rape your people and stab them. Oh my God, how cucked can you be? It's crazy.
Out of control.
Well, most of the people who arrive, they're all supported, Joe. I mean, they're put in
So
hotels.
immediately, as soon as you get there,
In Parliament, I see the contracts. Thanks to my parliamentary questions, I'm allowed to ask questions and scrutinise the contracts for instance, the Bibby Stockholm was a boat which cost the British taxpayer $1.5
Boris was in the same class at school as Osama bin Laden. Yeah, I mean, Osama was our boy until he crashed out. Like, that was our guy. Like, it was, yeah, we were good with him. And then he just fucking, like, that's
Who
just
knows
what
even
happens.
what happened in that situation?
Yeah.
billion pounds.
It's a
It's actually
conspiracy
now
all
lying
on its own.
redundant,
Sucks.
and not being used. But I've seen the
Yeah, do you like
contracts
anime,
for
like basketball?
these
I don't
illegal
know what
migrants in terms of the laundry services they get, in terms of the
Laundry
taxi
services.
services they get, in terms of the food
Shimped
they
out.
require. I mean, literally, it is like it's like staying in a very comfortable hotel. And we've now got these people being settled all across our country.
Imagine putting these people in hotels and then other people can't afford houses.
how many?
In hotels. Well, I don't think the government knows, Joe. To answer your question, I don't.
The answer is yes. How many people in hotels? Yes.
Yes.
And okay, all right. This is one more. Him talking about Elon.
And I think, to your point, Elon Musk has been, to my mind, incredibly helpful in.
Elon Musk has been crucial. I think that he was the one that turned the key that opened the door to free speech again.
Yep.
I
God
think
bless
if
Elon.
hadn't bought Twitter, I say this a lot, if Elon hadn't bought Twitter, we would be living in a very different world right now.
He's the savior of free speech.
And regardless of how you feel about his opinions on X, Y, or Z, regardless of whether you liked his builds in Path of Exile, regardless of whether he made a good build with Elden Ring, I don't think he did, by the way, but that's the way it is. Regardless of any of that, I don't give a shit. Because buying Twitter means more than any of that.
Yep.
Even Elden Ring.
Free speech,
I know.
baby.
Restoring free speech, because Starmer and these Fabian Pabloist Haldane Society, as I call them, they're sort of they've all got this malign philosophy, and I think what giving us free speech has done is it's
Exactly.
stopped them
Yep.
crushing the spirit of
Right
those
in their
people who do want
tracks.
to
Yes.
debate, who do want to discuss, who do want to get at the truth.
Right, but they've done so much to stop free speech with all these arrests.
It's extraordinary.
Because they've incentivized.
Yeah, they
They
don't want
arrest
people
more people for freedom of speech violations
than
in
anything else.
the UK than they do in China. Obviously, I think that the data is kind of flawed with that, but simultaneously,
I wouldn't be surprised.
it
It's
is a pretty
ridiculous.
bad point of reference, isn't it?
to keep their mouth shut because no one wants to be in trouble.
Well, it's two-tier policing.
Russia.
You've got,
Yes,
to your
Russia.
point about, that the Palestinian marches are tolerated, whereas any form of Tommy Robinson
What was it like
march, and
before
Tommy
Elon
Robinson
Musk?
in the UK, he's deeply disliked by the establishment. I give him credit for what
Yeah.
he did. Again, on the grooming gangs in 2003, he was
Yeah, Tommy Robinson walked so other people could run. And beyond that, he experienced, like, Tommy Robinson in a lot of ways has similarities to Nick Fuentes, where
Probably did
he
some
was one
fucked
of
up
the
shit, but he
earlier
helped.
guys out there that was really kind of shouting from the rooftops and doing this despite the censorship. And I think that him doing that and Nick doing that too, like, you couldn't have had
Paved the way.
the amount of discourse that we have now without guys like Tommy Robinson and Nick that were out there that were willing to put it on the table and risk their platforms by saying this stuff.
Yeah, it's
And I
necessary.
respect that as somebody who would not do that. Like, I view my role as different. I don't want to risk my platform by saying something. I usually play things pretty close to the belt, but people like them haven't, and I respect that tremendously.
People
And
like
in
them
a
are
big
needed.
way, if it wasn't for them doing what they did, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
True. Yeah,
warning
arguably pretty true.
about this in 2003 in Luton.
Not only that, I remember people dismissing that in 2003 or
people
4,
hated him.
where
Everybody
whenever it
hated
was
him.
when I first heard about it, they were talking about him as he was just horrible far right extremist,
I know.
and that he was making up these
strategic.
stories about these grooming gangs and rape gangs. I remember hearing that. I remember not knowing. Like, what is it? What's accurate here? Like, what's going on?
Well, I think the accuracy is that he was
Basically, like, so this is, let me finish the
right.
clip.
The establishment didn't want to admit it because if we're right, well, I think we are right about their multicultural post-war experiment.
Oh, of
They
course.
realized it was failing.
Yeah, it obviously is failing. That's the reason why I have to shut down all of the discourse around it.
Yep.
So, like, in a
They don't want to
perspective
admit
of
that they
this,
were
is
wrong.
like, if I was hyper-based and I said exactly what I think about every issue, and I, was like, I didn't edit anything out, and I said things that would get me banned, you wouldn't have had a 1 million plus view video of me reading the rape report in front of all of those people. You wouldn't have had that. So I think that in a position that I'm in, I try to take a slightly more mainstream position. And there are people that are more mainstream than I am. Like people like Piers Morgan, I would say, is also mainstream to that extent. Now, his opinions borderline on being disagreeing with mine, but fundamentally, I think that he has the best interests of Western society in mind, even though he says stupid things a lot of times. But it's about trajectory, right?
Mhm.
And I think that, like, let me think of other people. Like Elon is kind of the same thing, right? Elon can't say some of the things that I say. He could,
Yeah,
obviously.
he's
He
in,
could
like,
say these things.
She's too high.
But it has a different cost because of his position in the world, right?
Yeah,
And
he's
in
too high
media.
up.
And I think that everybody has a unique position. And in my position, I think that I'm kind of in there in the middle, right? Whereas
Yeah,
I
I'd say
kind
that's
of
fair.
talk about some things that are a little bit more taboo, but I also don't completely alienate mainstream perspectives either. And I think that that's a good thing. Why are you mad at Tucker? Because I think that Tucker has used his dislike to Israel to align himself with other foreign forces that are also oppositional to America.
Sold
but
out.
Because they are oppositional to Israel, he views them as being aligned with him, and I think it's a misunderstanding. Tucker Carlson is another great example of somebody who, I like Tucker, right? I like Tucker, but I think that right now he's drank a little bit of the a little bit too much of the third world Kool-Aid, right? Check your subreddit. I will. Let me look at my subreddit. I want to go through everything. Because I honestly, I haven't even gotten through everything on here, but I just have to move on at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Tucker's a schizo farmer. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's a
more
huge
important to get the
issue with
message out in
these
the long run,
migrants.
not short-term points.
We got to get them all
It's
out.
important to have like it's the same thing as in like a football team, right? You want to have a quarterback. You need to have a goalie in soccer. You need to have people that
Gotta
are
sneeze.
catching the ball, people that are defending
Excuse me.
the quarterback. Like there's a position that everybody has to play, and I think that ultimately understanding what position that you're in and then acting in accordance of that is the best thing that you can do, and not trying to exist outside of that spectrum. That's the reason why, for example, I think that, again, like I think that Hassan does damage to a lot of liberal causes because he puts his extremism into mainstream positions. And I think that in doing so, you poison the well for average people. I recognize that some of the things that I say and do are extremist.
Yeah.
And I think that they are not, at least not yet, they're not accepted by the public. And so because
I think
of
a
that,
lot of people,
I don't
though,
put
that
myself
watch
in
you agree
positions where I could compromise
if they
a
haven't
public
been,
initiative that needs a
completely
mainstream support
brainwashed by the
in
left.
order to boost my own
Hassan
profile.
and his
It's not important for me to boost my
idiocy.
own profile. It's important for me to do what's in my best
I don't
interest.
know how
and
anyone
what's
that
in the
watches
best interest
Hassan
of
cannot understand how he
of
supports
the
terrorism.
long term. Does that make sense? Like the death sentence? Yeah. Like I don't think that a lot of people, like that's a great example. Like my opinion on, I think that having more policing is something that's very moderate that a lot of people could get behind, but I don't think that people get behind my perspective on public executions. So I recognize that, like, okay, that's the divide, and that's it. And maybe some extremist positions, but not wrong. Well, I think that for extreme problems, you have to have extreme solutions.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that was a very good video. Um, Pretty much when he is talking about where he says like, everyone has like their place
video,
and their job. Oh, let me stop that.
about-
I believe that my part is kind of just trying to get
Apparently,
Asmongold's message across uh, to more people. I mean, I'm a new channel, right? So I'm not going to have a lot of pull or a lot of authority or clout or, you know, um, really movement is what I'm looking for. I'm not going to have a lot of movement because I'm a new channel. But I think that the policies on the left and where this country is heading and the Democratic Party, I think they're just so wrong that I just don't want to stand by the side anymore and just like let history take its course and just like not do anything. And I feel like that I just want to fight a little and get my message across and just help, you know, Asmongold and the centralists and, people that love America and hate what they're seeing, just help their message reach more people and see more people and could maybe influence more people because I think what's currently happening in this world is terrible. And I think that people are just blind sheep and are just being brainwashed and I think are reacting on their feelings and are just scared of being called names or getting like pushback, and so they're just kind of being like a fence sitter like some other people like um what's his name that's dating QT Cinderella, the like biggest fence sitter ever. I can't even, I know it begins with L. I want to say like ludicrous, but I forget his name just because like he's kind of a nobody. It just doesn't have any popular opinions. But anyway, yeah, I know I'm a small channel now, but I'm hoping that I could become bigger with pushing Asmongold and centralist and right ideology more. And I hope that we can continue to change the course of America. We've been doing a good job. My Chud gamers out there getting all this DEI slop out of the way. So let's keep pushing in that regard, and let's get all this anti-American, anti-Western culture, terrorist supporting bullshit out of here. Let's keep pushing, these great content creators that, share the same values as us, that really care about America and America first, and, putting America values first. We shouldn't be letting in all these migrants that, don't care about America, that are just here to use us for our money and our free healthcare and shit, that, don't assimilate, that don't want to adopt Western cultures or even learn our language or assimilate into our way of life. They want to, get their community and turn it into their home country that they came from, but in a pocket in America. No, I think we need to get rid of these people. They need to go back to either where they come from or somewhere else, just not in America. You're not wanted here. This is America. American culture and Western culture is where it belongs. And, we need to break the mirror that these lefty idiots are just, mesmerized by this like emotional bullshit DEI, like empathetic suicidal empathy crap. Like, you're being brainwashed, you're being led like sheep to the slaughter by people that don't care about you, that want to kill you, that will kill you. You need to leave that party so it dies. You need to come to the middle. You need to come to the right. You're an American, potentially living in America. I mean, I think a lot of other countries outside, even if you're not in America, are going through similar problems. I see a lot of it in France and Italy, and obviously Britain and other places in Europe, that you guys are being invaded by these violent, wild migrants that aren't assimilating and that are trying to subvert your culture too. So we all need to band together and screw all these lefties that are, non that like are non-apologetic towards pushing this shit that's just going to get you all killed. So, I hope you all appreciate this video. I'm going to be doing more. I finally got around to posting this. I'm gonna, generate a thumbnail and get a title going, and hopefully get this up by the end of today, maybe tomorrow, um, hopefully by Monday at least. But yeah, I think this is a serious topic, guys. I think we need to wake up the left. I think we need to get them, you know, on the right side, at least to supporting the country that you came from. I know in America it's sad to see that you see everyone else's flags except the American flag, and I don't know if it's the same in your country or where you guys are from too, but you should be supporting of your own country first. And these migrants that are coming to subvert us, they need to go, and it's time that we stand up. All right, guys. But that's it from me. Gunpla Gamer here, was building a Gundam alongside of reacting and watching the video. So just let me know, guys, in the comments what you guys think. If you'd like to see more of anything, obviously there's gonna be right side and centrist and Asmongold haters. Don't give a shit about what you guys have to say because it's not important, and you're obviously just brainless losers that are following sheep to the slaughter. So I don't care about what you have to say anyway. But anyway, my fellow centrists, my fellow right side, right wingers, my Asmongold fans, my Roach ranchers, um, give me some feedback, and let's grow this community. Have a good one, guys. Hope you all enjoy the weekend. Bye bye.